gonna start recording. There's a 5-second delay. Alrighty. So do we just jump right into it?
I will do an introduction first. So, hello and welcome to Anime FMK. This is going to be a show where we judge the anime that we watch. This is also a show heavily inspired by Team 4 Star's Anime FMK. This is a love letter slash project I'm doing for a film studies class. We've decided to record and stream it as well. And this week we only have 2 anime to watch. We have Jujutsu Kaisen and Kuma 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 Bear. And let's just jump into it with Jujutsu Kaisen, Episode 1. Neither of these episodes have episode titles, so I will just get to the synopsis. The story starts with a flash forward of Ichigo Kurosaki being trapped in a room by a teacher who has tied him up. Ichigo is part of a club for occult research and finds an artifact that Sasuke is looking for. His grandfather dies and tells him to help people, while Sasuke meets with him to get the artifact, and they race to school, kill 2 curses, and get the artifact. But when another one appears, Ichigo eats the artifact and becomes a curse, killing the one that overpowered him, Sasuke. And Sasuke ends the episode saying that he has to kill him because he is now a curse. This is a shonen show. It is very obvious, but I think in a good way. I get heavy Bleach vibes from this. Hell, he even gets the power a similar way.
Yo, me too. I'm so glad that you said all these things.
And I find it hilarious because my opinion of this show very simply came down to I feel like this was Bleach if written by a different cast of people.
That's hilarious. In my notes, I'm getting serious Bleach vibes, but if it was like, better written,
Yeah. Can I say the moment I knew I was going to give this, because I was kind of like waving back and forth, but the moment I knew I was going to give this show the fuck was at the end when he's holding his chin and
he says, "It's my body, dude."
Bro, it's my body. Yes.
That line.
It hit me out of nowhere.
I think we were watching different subs because mine's like, bro, it's my body, and like the delivery was yeah, the delivery was so exactly good. It's just like, what, you have control, bro? It's my body.
Yeah,
which that's exactly what he said. I just blanked on the exact wording.
Yeah, I was so I was like, oh, this protagonist so far is kind of bland. I know why they made him bland now. Because
so off the bat, we seem to be having a very similar impression of the show, where like the protagonist, like I found the protagonist endearing, but like not. It's like he seemed a little flat, but not like shallow. Like it's not like he's like just a dumb character. He's a bit of a meathead, but he's like not like just bland. He just seems to like not react to a lot of things. But by the end of the episode, I think it's intentional, and it's going to serve as an opportunity for the character to grow in ways that's not as expected for a main character in the series, or a series such as this.
I am so excited to see this dynamic, because him being bland serves really well to this. What I'm hoping to see is his actual personality gets influenced by the curse.
Because I'm expecting an interesting dynamic, at least interesting. I'm hoping it's good, but I'm expecting an interesting dynamic because the animation reflects it as well. Like, one of the things I have in my notes around the time when spoilers, Grandpapa, passes on, which I want to talk about that later, was when he was about to climb the gate because he was scared to join who you also refer to, Sasuke, which I made the same joke in my notes.
It's the same design. Just one for one. Sasuke.
Yeah, it's like a weird cross of like Naruto and Bleach with like Hunter x Hunter, but again, more about that later. He's like, when he's climbing over the gate, he's like, I'm scared, but like his face is like super unexpressive, like to the point where like I'm noticing like, wow, this character's really not emoting a lot. And then the curse happens and he gets possessed, and it's like, oh, there's like I literally have written down, Let me see. Let me find my notes. I feel. Fuck it. I can't find the note immediately, but I'm like, well, I got what I wanted. Demon mode, much more expressive. And I'm excited to see those two personalities clash over time, because it's obvious that they're going to be this kind of dynamic duo who's like not exactly synergistic.
Also, him eating the finger was really gross, but I didn't expect it. Like, I do. Also, like, the sort of Bleach thing is him being super strong without being a curse or anything
Exactly.
that gets these powers.
Honestly, with the whole demon thing, while I can't say for certain. I I really am expecting an idea of Naruto and the Nine-Tailed Fox going on in terms of dynamic
I'm
between
just
him and his curse.
I'm
I
just
think,
hoping that it doesn't end up being nothing but comedy shtick, right? Because you have this dude who's obviously a high level demon, and he's like talking about like raping the women and children and painting the town red, in this like era of peace in Japan, and we have main characters. So I'm hoping to see some real antagonization between the two. But yeah, that kind of common ground with Naruto. Just again, we keep making the Bleach reference, and I'm hoping for more depth here. I know it's shonen, but I'm hoping for more depth here.
yeah. The thing is this seemed like a fairly stock start of a shonen series of okay, a lot of exposition explaining the rules of this world, and then the main character gets his powers. Like it follows almost every shonen start, like because that's how Bleach started, that's how Naruto started.
Yeah,
I
I
can
mean
only assume that's how One Piece started.
it's the right way to start a shonen. It's not a bad way to start a shonen episode.
It's not bad. It's just stock. Like in my notes here, I have it. Like the characters in the episode itself feels so fierce. They seem fairly stock, but the show's just started, so
I would say a sort of a negative opinion I had on it was I felt like I had a lot thrown at me in no time at all.
Really,
yes,
I
definitely.
felt like I was hit with a truck full of knowledge without a second to really think about what the hell was going on.
really.
Es- Especially when his grandfather passed away,
Yeah,
because it felt like so much was happening. I
I
think
have
starting with the flash forward was a mistake.
I have a lot to say with on the grandpa. Not a lot, but I have a good amount of stuff to say on the grandfather part. So I want to shove that for just a minute. But I'm surprised to hear you say that, Gilly, and you as well, me. Like, I I maybe I'm just used to the anime, nonsense. But like everything was happening, I was like nodding. I'm like, yep, high school student wants to join the occult club because he's lazy, and well, he plays it off as he's lazy, but he actually wants to spend time with his grandpa.
Mhm.
And the beginning is just like the one thing that I found confusing was like, wait, that's a sensei, but he has him tied up, which I'm sure we'll see that actual scene in, like by episode 4 or 5. But I didn't find it
Yeah,
overwhelming myself.
it's not that I found it confusing. I kept track of what was happening. I just felt like they were throwing a lot out in such a short span of time.
Yeah, same
Like
here.
I understood what was going on, but it felt like they were. I was trying. The amount I had to digest and the period at which it was being thrown at me was a bit much.
Yeah, definitely, because it went from the flash forward to him being the student, to his grandfather being in the hospital, to the whole thing of okay, I'm going to stay in the research club by beating this guy who I was so worried when they mentioned is that another plot line they're throwing at us? Wait, isn't that guy still alive? Oh
Oh,
my
Meep,
god.
you cut out. You were so worried. What? Meep?
Okay. I
Uh
said
oh.
I said I was so worried that when they're like, yeah, he's the reincarnated great fighter. I was like, no, are they throwing another plot line at us already? And then someone just pipes in from the back, wait, that guy's still alive. And I went,
Yeah, no, yeah. She's
Which I
like,
think was
some
just
say he's
which
the
I
reincarnation. Like, wait, is he still? Wait, isn't he still fucking alive?
yeah.
which when they did that, I'm feeling like that was just a fun poke at other anime that have done that.
Yeah, which I'm happy they did, because if they did that, I would have been like just sitting there shaking my head.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But,
You know
yeah,
what?
then
That
they
joke
went
didn't land as much with me, but this is one of those rare instances that when the joke is explained, it's funny, and like I didn't appreciate it in the moment, but yeah, that's actually great.
I
but yeah,
think
no,
I think they really balanced a good amount between like the action and the comedy with what they were doing in it, and I do feel like there's a lot of room to grow as they go on with more episodes.
yeah. I hope the friends either get more to them or don't stick around as much because
So,
they are
sorry, go on.
fairly bland. I was just gonna say they are fairly bland at this point.
So, the friends, right? Um, we keep drawing Bleach comparisons because it's
Yeah,
Japanese high school, small town, smallish town.
orange hair.
Um, you have demons. Literally, the first demon they showed, I'm like, oh, that's a hollow. Um, but
There's the like super good exterminator there who watches him get his powers. Essentially Rukia right over there.
yeah, yeah, Rukia Uchiha, um, or Sasuke Kuchiki. Which one are we going? Sasuke Kuchiki.
Sasuke Kuchiki, yeah.
Um, but
No, I found him to be a better Uryu.
oh, that'd be
Yep, that
interesting.
is fair.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah,
fair.
Orio's introduction is in Bleach was not something I enjoyed, but whatever. That's Bleach.
Yeah.
Um. So, and they did not. You know what? I have you pulled on the Uryu thread into my head. I'm like, they did nothing with his like core personality, his original personality with Orihime and everything. But anyway, moving on. Um,
Not generous.
But yes, back to the friends.
the friends are interesting enough. This is something I'm going to be saying a lot, I think, in first episodes because my whole philosophy is to give things a chance. And so far, Jujutsu Kaisen is interesting enough. The friends are interesting enough in terms of like their placement. They didn't put a lot of emphasis on their relationship, as in he was just like, you know what, I've only been around them for a little bit, but like, they are my friends. We got that shonen protagonist attitude going through already. And I don't see them being a massive part of the show unless they get powers, and I kind of don't want them to because they haven't developed their personalities enough. I think they're going to be comic relief. I think they're going to be the slice of life aspect of this world, but this also brings up the question of where is this show going to take it? Are they going to stay in, the small town? They've mentioned this other school of exterminators, which we know the main character gets involved with. Is that going to be their soul society? Is there going to be a demon world? Who knows? And I think that strongly depends. I mean, I think that will strongly throw the tone of the show.
A good thread to go off of. Two things that I thought they were going to do, which had me really interested at the time. I thought that horror that was attacking them, I thought it was going to eat the finger and we were going to see the big bad start. Like, that was like, okay, it eats the finger, this is the big bad of the show. And then when that didn't happen, but he ate the finger, I was like, oh, no, they're going to make the main character the big bad of this show. But then he gets control of his body. I'm like, oh, okay. Which, those other two directions that I thought it was going to go would have been more interesting to me. I think this direction they're going, like the stock shonen route, it can also be interesting, so I'm okay with that.
What do you think, Gilly? Oh no, I can't believe Gilly's fucking dead.
Uh-oh. Gil?
I'm here. I haven't really had anything to add.
Cool, no worries. It's actually it's a little funny to me that both of you didn't see the finger being eaten coming because he's like, "Oh, what if I eat it?" And he's like, "Don't fucking do it."
What?
In my head,
No. I did not say that. The second he said, "What if I eat it?" I knew it was gonna happen within the next few minutes.
yeah,
I was preparing myself for it
The
because
because
show
in my head I
that
was
was
like,
way too much foreshadowing for the type of anime it
that
was. Like that
that
was
is
that was immediate in my mind.
yeah,
that
in
is
my head,
fair.
the moment he said it, I was like, he's gonna eat the finger. He gonna eat the finger.
Well, I knew the finger was going to be eaten, but like I said, I thought the curse was that we were going to get to see a big bad start at the start of the show, which really cool thing to watch. Like really cool thing that you don't see in much anime is watching the big bad being born.
True, true. But then that would leave the main character as Sasuke Kuchiki, and I like his wolves, but his character design is nowhere near main character esque.
Now, I will say one thing
Yeah.
on him. I looked at his design, and yeah, I got Sasuke Uryu kind of vibes, like the rival kind of thing going on is how I felt looking at him. But
The
he has so much more personality than I expected him to, and I'm happy about that.
he's much less of a dick than I expected him to
Yeah,
be.
he's not. Well, he's not really much. I didn't really get any kind of dickish vibes off of him. I got a lot of like responsibility kind of things going,
Yeah,
but he
like
seems just genuinely like okay with people and caring.
the dickest thing he did was when he went, "Yeah, they're unwrapping the talisman." He's like, "What? Why?"
Well, his
Which I feel
introduction.
like is a fair response.
Yeah. Why are you like this?
So his introduction, right, was him that aloof, laid back, too cool for school. I'm a competent badass kind of attitude, right, where he's just like on the phone, and his teacher's obviously like overbearing and kind of like his teacher. I assume his teacher. Like I'm going to assume that's the teacher we saw in the beginning, but it could be like his handler or whatever. The voice on the phone is very much like is shitty to him. It's like, well, you're not coming, like, no supper for you. You're not coming home until you find the fucking thing. He's just like, whatever, fuck you, dude. And I was ready for that to be his attitude towards everything. And he does have that attitude of like, I'm an exorcist. I've done this shit before. You're a civilian. Mind your business. Just help me do my job so no one gets hurt. Just shut up and comply. But as the show goes on, like you said, he has that level of care. He has that expression of care, and he actually feels bad when he has to kill him because he eats the finger and becomes a curse. Which I was scared for. I saw it coming, but I didn't want it to happen because I'm like, oh no.
He also has the two good boys.
The doggos are the best doggos. They're good wolves. They're good boys. They're animated better than him.
Yeah, I
I'm not
honestly I could tell a little bit earlier on that he was going to be, even if he was going to play the rival role, he was going to be better about it. Because while yes, his introduction is like the whole serious back and forth.
Broody.
Also, don't forget when he was when he was looking through the box trying to find it. The fun, goofy animation they did of him climbing all over it.
Good point.
And I don't know why I lost it when he went through all these motions trying to look around it. Then he closed it, then quickly opened it again, thinking it'd
Yeah,
be there.
I
I
love
lost it because that was so dumb. I was not ready for it, and I lost it.
I didn't laugh out loud there, but that was funny. Just seeing him.
I think it really shows him as a little bit more of a fun character than just super constantly serious.
Yeah, he's not just total edge and broody and serious. He's got like a human levity to him. That's a good point. Also, another thing I didn't think of when watching the scene originally, but hearing you talk about it, um, the whole closing and opening. Japanese mythology and folklore can get all wonky and like silly as well as like absolutely fucking terrifying, and I'm excited to see them continue. I'm hoping and excited for them to continue giving it the respect it deserves. Both the serious horror and the silly, wonky, like, zany both sides of the Japanese mythos.
Mhm. And something I also did enjoy, like after the fact, I actually enjoyed the curse designs.
Yeah. I literally have it in my notes, and there's the Japanese horror. Specifically, when we saw the like weird "what time is it?" curse demon monster thing come out, and I'm like, there it is. There's that weird body dysmorphia, multiple body horror, not dysmorphia, sorry, body horror, weird, gross fucking things.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the the action animation was so good with like the dogs and after he eats the finger when he cuts the other horror basically in half, or not horror, the other fucking curse basically in half.
Generally speaking, the animation was pretty good. There was a few
Yeah.
moments where I felt like it was flat, but it seems intentional. Like humans aren't expressive, but all the horrors and curses are super.
Can I just say I'm so happy this isn't a Toei animation show?
We're not. You can say that.
Because then we'd be getting this weekly instead of seasonal. And
Oh, you mean in that regard? Yeah, sure,
yeah,
sure. But
I don't mean animation wise. I just mean like pacing. Let's say.
yeah, the pacing. I mean, you guys were a little bit overwhelmed, but we'll see how the show picks up. They might have dropped a lot in the first episode to kind of have it established. But
Well,
I walked.
I've I've dealt with a few different animes that will do that. That they will unload as much lore as possible on you in episode one, and then it'll actually go for a heavy slowdown and only explain as needed, which I'm kind of thinking was the idea here.
Yeah.
Slap you with all this now, and then only give you stuff as you need it from this point on.
Mhm. And I'd rather be overwhelmed than just whelmed.
Fair. Speaking, well, whelmed is actually the good one, right? Whelmed is that you are content. But I got
Whelmed
what
is
you mean.
Yeah,
whelmed is more of a term you say when you're bored.
that's usually more of underwhelmed.
Yeah.
Fair.
But shoot, I lost my train of thought thinking about whelmed.
We've been shelving it a bit. You said
Right.
you wanted to talk about the grandpa.
Let's transfer that. But before we do, one more thing. About the first episode in and of itself. So while you two might have been a little bit overwhelmed by the information drop, and I was okay with it, I did you guys walk away with a feeling like you had a good understanding of the world and what's about to happen? Because I did.
Oh yeah, no,
I
I
felt a good understanding about the curses, the world
I
itself.
definitely
Oh, sorry.
Gilly?
I definitely felt I understood what was going on, understood the world that we were looking at and such. I just, like I said, it's always slightly off-putting to be slapped with all that.
Yeah. And I walked away with a good understanding. They fit inside the mythos. The world, we still need to figure out what's going on with where Sasuke is coming from, what's going on, like the exorcists. But generally, yes, I do have a good understanding.
Yeah, it's because they did almost nothing with the school except show off the opening scene with the room, the ceiling room. That leads me to think that we're gonna get the school as the quote unquote soul society, to keep using Bleach as a reference point. We're gonna get the school as the world between worlds, or the other world, because uh, both the promotional art and the kind of atmosphere that was built around when they released the curse seal on the artifact, on the relic, leads me to believe that we're gonna get a little bit of like transitioning realities.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt like I had so apart from the school, I pretty much got it, and like I think it's a very well designed first episode. We have foreshadowing beginning, which was gorgeous, by the way. And I know we want to get to the grandpa, but I will need a moment to gush about the scenery design in this show. So we got the opening scene, then we get him at home, which contrasts a light window with how messy everything is inside. It's showing his personality and his way of life. His grandpa's ill. And then we get the school life, the levity, the kind of like slice of life, the friends, the silly gym instructor, the I loved the scene with the home president, with the classroom president, student council president. There we go.
I
Uh,
forgot him.
You forgot him because he's not an important character, but they used his comedy. He's like super strict. He's standing there with his glasses as if he's like some kind of fucking Gendo Ikari villain. And then the teacher comes in like, no, I fucked with his documents and I forged his signature. And he's just like, what? Is that illegal?
That's who I meant by Tenya Ida in my notes.
Yeah, he's got. It's funny. He's just having this mental battle of should I feel like I should be upset because the teacher doctored the files.
Yeah, he just reminds me of Tenya Ida from Hero.
From where?
My Hero, like Tenya Ida, Glasses Boy.
No, he's nowhere near as charming or affable. He's kind of like this super strict, stick up his ass kind of character, and his whole world falls apart in like minutes, and it's great.
You have to remember how Ida was in season 1 of My Hero, though.
Okay, good point. Good point. But
They walk into the class, him giving Bakugo a lecture.
But Bakugo needs all the lectures in the world. But this isn't about My Hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you kind of have you cuts back to Sasuke Kuchiki, and we need to get better at names. I suck at names, but that's just something moving forward.
Listen, it suffers from the Japanese naming convention of these are extremely Japanese names. There's a lot of characters being thrown at me. I'm just gonna make my own nicknames.
We've also because we've only seen one episode. It's kind
Fair.
of hard to memorize names this early on.
Fair. So, yeah, and then it cuts to him, and we kind of get an introduction of like the danger or the other side of the main plot thread, and then we have Grandpa, which we're gonna get to right now, and then we have post Grandpa, the exposition dump. Right, this is the core everything else was establishing, and this was exposition. He comes in, he's like, "You have the relic. Why do you have it? I don't know." And that's something that I appreciated. He's like, I don't fucking know. It's something that I have it. It's my family's thing. And the dude doesn't question him. He's like, yeah, you're just a fucking civilian. You wouldn't know. Okay, cool. Here's the problem though, and we get that world building exposition of curses and everything, and then immediately transition into danger. Right? He's like, where's the relic now? He's like, oh, my friends have it in school. They're about to unravel it. And he's like, fucking what?
Why?
Because we don't believe this shit.
Fair response.
Also, can we appreciate that the show has this occult group, right? And like, okay, cool, occult club, pretty standard, nothing too unique. And then like, we solved the case. The dude was in debt, and they killed him, and they buried him in the rugby field. And then the president's like, no, there were ticks. So shut the fuck up, and you're getting closed down because you actually are short members. And then it's heavily implied by Sasuke Kuchiki that they were correct, that there was a dead body there because there was that curse there. Specifically,
Yeah.
He said one that comes from like murdered people.
Yeah, no, and I am happy he didn't just go straight away and kill it. It's like, no, my mission is to deal with this artifact. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it was. You're right that it was a thing, and it ended up biting him in the end.
Mm-hmm. Then there was Grandpa, which I know you said you wanted to speak on first, so.
No, go ahead. I'm pretty sure from the sound of everyone's tone, we have the same opinions on it.
Yeah. I felt that the Grandpa death happened a bit too. That I know there had to be like something to change, but it felt like something that would normally be set up to happen. I don't know. It's not something like overall like put a distaste in my mouth. It was just something that like raised an eyebrow at. Like, that happened quick. Like it was introduced in this episode that his grandpa was sick. Though we've only had one episode left, so it's one of those things where, in the moment, I know it's something that I'm raising my eyebrow at. But hey, maybe like 10 episodes down the line, it'll have served the narrative a lot better. Who knows?
Gilly?
My opinion on the grandfather was I didn't feel like I feel like the only real purpose he was there to do is just to kind of give that character that pivotal driving force kind of thing, and then leave. And that was it. He just felt like a plot device to be there for all of a few seconds, and then he's done.
He seemed like he knew more though, because he mentioned like
He brings up the whole thing about I want to tell you about your parents, and he just tells him to shut up,
shut up, I don't want
stop
to hear
being cool, stop trying to be cool.
it. You don't deserve it. I fucking love how he said you don't deserve it. It's just like what a relationship you have with your grandfather dying.
And then grandfather's just like, come on, let me fucking at least have a dignified death. Let me. I think the line was, let me hold my head high as I die or something, or on my deathbed.
It's something like that. I can't remember the exact wording either.
But yeah, the grandpa scene. Um, I agree. It out of we were talking about pacing, and the show has decent enough pacing where the fact that the way the episode is designed, we're not like if you were to slow down and think about main character's life, they'd be like, yeah, what does he do this time? There are like negative spaces, but the pacing of the show and the way the first episode is designed leaves you not feeling that way unless you really start digging deep. At least for me, the grandpa, however, is the one thing that it felt super rushed, and I could just it. How do I put this? It didn't. It was introduced literally the second scene in, and you're shown that he cares, and I agree that it felt like that kind of pivotal point where he's just like, be the shonen protagonist that you were born to be. But also like the whole thing about the family and him just dying in the first episode in that scene left a number of bad tastes in my mouth. Number one, the main thing that I'm worried about is that it just feels like an unnecessary mystery. Like I'll read out the notes I have. I feel like the grandpa scene was cut a little short and is one of those things that will get explained and delved further into as the series continues. But right now it just feels like an unnecessary mystery. Like they introduced the mystery of his parents and his heritage and why he's this strong, and they could have just talked about it there, but grandpa they chose not to, and it just feels a little contrived.
Yeah, that's where I definitely felt like, oh, okay, this is shonen. This is what I expect out of a shonen show. But what I want to see is like next episode or maybe a couple episodes in, like he gets off from his club and he goes to the hospital and he goes, oh wait, or he's just walking. He's like, what do I do now? I normally visit my grandfather. Huh.
Yes. This
Yeah,
brings me to my other gripe. He did not feel sad enough. I know there's that scene where he in the when he's checking out, he's like, "Are you sure you're okay?" And he's just like his facial animation is like bright and smiling. It has like red lines around his eyes to show that he did cry, but he's just like, "Yeah, Grandpa wouldn't want me to whine and bitch and moan. He would want me to smile, laugh, and keep going." But it was over way too quick. Like
yeah. What I feel though is his grandfather did mention, "Don't be a bad person like I was, or you will die alone." I think that he cares for his grandfather, but his grandfather had been a bad person, so that may have been why it didn't hit him hard enough. Because it, it's not explained at all, but it's just like the grandfather literally says, "Shut up, just be a good person, so you don't die alone like I am." I don't know. That was the vibe I got from it. But yeah, I definitely did go. He isn't sad or anything. It's kind of hmm.
I
go on,
have
go.
a contrary view on that because while afterwards there wasn't much of emotion being shown, the call that he had to make to the nurses showed a lot of emotion and barely able to keep himself from the tears. Because as he was on the phone with them, he could not stop from crying, which was which was like the most emotion he one of the most emotions he showed in that entire episode.
And
Very strong feelings to it.
And in all fairness, it was light when he made that call, but it was dark when he left, so he was probably there for a while.
Good point. Good points. Good points. I guess I guess I just wanted a little bit more screen time for that emotion because overall I felt like the emotional depth of our main character was lacking.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Uh, with him having such a lack of emotional depth is why I feel that one brief moment was extremely powerful. He shows next to no emotions, and now he's just borderline bawling, trying to tell them my grandfather has died. And I
Yeah.
think that speaks a lot for a character when they barely can express emotions as is.
You know what? I think you're absolutely right. And I like that take. Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess the only thing I could say is that I would have wanted to see it a little more, but I actually appreciate the nuance that you've expressed and that they did there.
same. I didn't think about it that way. Hell, I didn't even think about it like like in the moment when I said like, yeah, it was dark when he left, but it was light when he was there. I realized that in the moment. So yeah,
Mm.
I'm a bit weak on that scene now that I'm thinking about that. Like definitely, there are ways that would have I would have had it go different ways. Like give a bit more screen time to the grandfather.
See, again,
Yeah,
it's hard to yeah, it's hard to say in like a first episode because we don't know how important and pivotal role the grandpa will play. Like, will he come back as a spirit? Will he come back as a ghost? Will he be a constant flashback? Will he just be a yeah, we don't know.
that is a small worry for me because I
Yeah.
have my opinions about excessive flashbacks. I don't mind a little bit, but if it's way too much, it could ruin a series for me.
Yep. And this
Yeah.
is shonen, so
So there's a chance, there's a good chance.
big
So
chance.
is this going to be Naruto style flashbacks or My Hero style? Because I can handle My Hero flashbacks. I cannot handle Naruto flashbacks.
You mean whole episodes? Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought you were referring to the swing,
So and
the
also
dreaded sadness swing.
hey, the swing is fucking sad, okay? The swing gets me a little bit
Look,
ever to this
I,
day.
I'm not saying it's not sad. It's just it was overused.
The Naruto swing is sad, and then Boruto sits on it and basically takes a huge metaphor, proverbial dump on it, and I'm like, fuck this show. Anyway, um,
Something I don't. Sorry.
no, no worries. I just wanted to make a note of something you said about the grandpa. Like, it's still an anime, and it's an anime that's obviously focused strongly on Japanese culture and Japanese dynamics. And the grandpa's that kind of trope that I don't think he's in. I don't think he's guaranteed to be a bad person. I just think the grandpa was super strict, crotchety, angry, and just the prickly kind of character. You know, that kind of angry old man. And that's where I'm expecting it to go, but we'll see. Maybe he has a really dark past. He was entrusted with this super cursed artifact for a reason, right?
Well, it wasn't the grandfathers. The artifact was just something they found in that shoji shrine.
Wait, I thought it was at their property that the
Was
artifact
it?
was kept. I thought so because they live in a traditional
I
Japanese home.
I, I found I found the description of where the artifact came from was one of the moments that I was kind of confused. What I understood from what they were saying is they just kind of found it.
Alright, maybe.
Yeah. I thought
They just sort of found it and decided, hey, we're gonna take this thing, which I'll be honest is probably the dumbest thing I've ever thought somebody could do, but that's also beside the point. Um,
that makes sense. Kids just like, hey, I found this. Let's take it home. Kids do that.
I don't know about that because like our character has like a little bit of, but he like has a little bit of. I see my audio cutting out, so let me know if I cut out. Uh, our main character has a little bit of delinquentness to him, but he doesn't seem like a full blown delinquent. Far less than Ichigo was, and he doesn't seem the type to just like. He's not careless, right? Like when you start talking about spirits, he's like, "Oh yeah. I have a basic understanding of like spirits and curses." And then when he starts explaining him in detail, he's like, "Oh shit, I have what?" And like it to me, it strikes me odd that he would just walk up to a shrine and take the shrine's artifact, occult club or not.
That's fair. I sort of thought it was one of the friends that took it. they had it.
He
I
said
could be wrong. I'd
he
have to
said
rewatch
my
the rest.
friends are fond of it, so I brought it to them, and it made me feel like he has a familiarity with it, which made me feel like it was his family's property.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah, then they did a poor job of explaining that.
Yeah, like I could understand. I could actually see that, but I felt like it was they were not like obvious enough with where that thing came from, other than it came out of that box.
And I
Either
think
way,
they purposely didn't show the house with the box in the establishing shot. They just showed the shrine. So I think they purposely left it ambiguous, just so we can people will have this conversation after the first episode.
was there any like? Obviously, there was music, but there wasn't any standout music I can think of right now.
Okay, cool. I was
A lot
hoping
of
someone would bring this up.
it was a lot of good like sort of atmospheric, but it didn't really it didn't really
There
Yeah,
wasn't really an OST that came through, right? Or at least
yeah.
not one that stayed with us. Because did you notice there was no opening?
yeah,
Yeah.
it was. There was no opening or anything.
And the
I mean,
credits were quiet. Wait, was there a song in the credits? There was a
there
song
was a
in the
song in
credits.
the credits, but you have to remember this was a because of the way that they released it. There will probably be later on a opening and a ending visuals.
Mm. Well, since we
But
continue making Bleach references, say what you want about Bleach. Personally, I have mixed feelings about it, but the fights were always really good. Um,
mhm.
say what you want about Bleach, the soundtrack for Bleach was always good.
Yeah, I
Now you feel like number one. Like, it was just always just on point.
though if we're getting to the point where we're now starting to talk about Bleach, should we hold up some cards, ladies and gentlemen?
There was actually one more thing I want to discuss about the show before we hold up the cards, proverbial cards. So while the sound design was unimpressive to say the least, like none of us have an impression of it. Like none of us really remember. I don't remember any specific musical or sound things about the show. Can we talk about the art design?
Yeah, art design's really good.
I am optimistic for the art direction of this show. The room in the opening scene already has like so much care and detail put into it. Like it is gorgeous. Like all the talismans kind of drawn in, the lighting, the overall shading and lighting of the room, the way he's tied up, and like it's just it was good. And if this continues to be the case, like, I'm excited for it because it does continue. Like you have that shot of him, the second shot, the second scene after that is him on the phone, and his house is like dirty and dark because there's no one else in there except him. He's on the phone with his with the nurses, and then they change over to the nurses station, which also has a bunch of detail put into it. Like there's like binders and like laptops and like equipment. It's not messy, but it's like cluttered like a nurse's station would be. And I'm really excited for that. Like I'm paying more and more attention in anime to the backgrounds, the settings, the sceneries, as well as the animation of the characters themselves.
So, yeah, I do agree there, but let's hold up some cards. I'm gonna give the show a fuck.
I'm fucking it.
Really?
Gilly's staring at his eggplant or his knife, not knowing what to do.
Yeah,
Gilly?
I would I would just end up saying the same. I find no reason to kill it.
Like I said, it is good. It is impressive. Interesting enough. There we go. It is interesting enough. I don't
Like
see.
even though my primary idea is my primary opinion is a direct comparison to Bleach. I said it at the beginning. It feels like if Bleach was just created by a different group of people,
I
I'm
think
okay with that.
I think they know they're similar to Bleach because literally they had the main character when he was running up to the school and got blocked by like the spiritual barrier. The main character literally says, "What enormous pressure," and I'm like, amazing.
surprise me. It would not surprise me that they very intentionally did that.
Oh, what enormous spiritual pressure. Oh, Neva's typing.
I think I'm interested to see a lot more episodes, and I think it is a I think it can be I think it's gonna be a really good show,
Yeah,
or I'm hoping at least.
the action seems to be less spectacle and more like dynamic martial arts, and yeah, it seems like less spectacle and more dynamic martial arts. And I'm not against it. The wolves were cool, but they weren't like super OP. They had the like that really cool transitioning scenes. I think we're gonna see a lot of different combat styles. I think that's where they're gonna take it. Different exorcists will have different abilities and different combat styles. And now that our main hero is cursed, he's probably gonna have some ridiculous OP, black fire, dark energy shit.
I almost forgot about one detail regarding the Exorcist and his wolves that I actually quite enjoyed. I completely forgot about it till just this second.
All right, let's see
I
what it is.
the uh the heavy insinuation that they only exist via his concentration, focus, and willpower. Because as he gets the crap beaten out of him, they disappear.
They don't just
They're not
disappear.
injured.
They
He
don't just
is.
disappear. They rot away.
Yeah.
Like a lot of animation went to show how they like come into. They didn't show them come into the world. It was just really cool shadows. But when they left the world, they rotted away. It wasn't super graphic, but it was graphic enough. Like they melted. And like I agree. Like this isn't. I mean, from the very beginning, we knew this wasn't going to be high magic, high fantasy kind of shonen. This is going to be more darker and more like horror esque, and I'm excited for that. Like I want to see this take. I want to see this kind of like horror esque take on shonen. And for that reason, I see no reason to even think about holding up a knife yet because they put down a lot, and I'm very eager to see where it's gonna go. I will continue to vamp while Meep has stepped away uh, about the show because there's a few other details that I wanted to bring up. Let's see, because I have much more written here than for Kuma 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 Bear. Um, I would say that every time we say the title of Kuma Bear, we just add another Kuma to it, but then I think we'll literally be stuck for 1 minute saying Kuma 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 Kuma. Um,
Probably.
yeah. I mean, we could talk about the comedic timing. It's not overly done. It's not super slapstick like it was in Bleach or other shonen. It's not like really overly animated like in My Hero. It's not all beating the shit out of each other like it is in other shonen as well. Like I thought it was pretty good. The super serious coach who's like has the body of a retired athlete is just like getting like rocked. He's kind of a shitty dude, but he's obviously doing it because he cares about the team and he knows that, he's good at sports. Like, they did really well with him. That whole scene was funny. And our favorite part where, this dude is just monologuing about how he's going to paint the demon, is monologuing how he's going to paint the town red, and the fucking main character's like, hey, what are you doing, man? Bro, it's my body.
The level of casual with him as a character is at times, obviously, yeah, it feels like there's not a whole lot going on for him emotionally, but then you have that moment and it's just hilarious. It's just
Yeah.
like you think he's taken over and all of a sudden, nah, what are you doing? This is my body.
I mean, like, we knew he wasn't going to be... I mean, actually, let me rephrase that. It's not we, because Meep actually thought that we might be getting the big bad. But I knew that he wasn't going to be taken over, but I didn't know how they were going to do it, and it was such a refreshing and just different, blunt, funny way to have that happen that I can't help but laugh and appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. Also,
Hey, welcome back. Also, so we kept talking about the it's my body scene. I actually like I thought that was really good in terms of what's his name, Ichujigi, main character. I thought that was a really good way to like. We'll get better as time goes. I thought it was a good way of expressing his character. That being said, I really like the scene that followed immediately after, where Sasuke Kuchiki gets up and he's upset about it. He's like, "Fuck! Now I have no choice. I have to exercise both of them. I have to kill both of them." And as he says that out loud, as his broody, serious character would, both the demon and the main character turn around and one voice go, like, we can hear you, bro. And it was this interesting scene of like before they show them at odds, and then immediately they show them like in solidarity in their attitudes toward the situation.
Which is part of why I'm hoping for a whole. Obviously, they're very likely going to be antagonistic with each other, but I'm hoping for this one where it's this weird kind of friendship going on with him and the curse. It's like they don't like each other, but they tolerate and get along sometimes.
What
I want it to be like Vegito, just them like constantly talking shit about each other.
Yes, I think the main character is going to want to help. Sorry, my audio. I think the main character is going. I think the main character is going to.
You keep cutting out at the going to.
I know my push to talk seems to be failing me, and I don't understand why. What is happening?
Sounds like your audio's decided just to commit seppuku.
Seriously. Yep. Okay, I think the main character is going to continue overpowering the demon, the curse, for a while. I am expecting, a Hollow Ichigo scene to start playing out, Nine-Tailed Fox Naruto. The darker energy is going to start winning at some point, and we're going to have that character strike, because if they didn't do that, that would be such a waste of a cool scene. But regardless, I don't see them being friends. I see them being, like, constantly fighting with each other, because the main character is going to want to help and protect and save people, while the demon's like, what is this soft baby shit? I want to just run wild and be powerful. But I don't think either one of them want to die, so that's where they're going to come into play, where like the demon's going to be like, all right, well, if you're going to want to help this person really fuck shit up, like I want to cut loose. I've been trapped for centuries.
You know what I expect? I expect a moment where they fight a curse sympathizing human, like a human that's working with the curses, and he has a contest of faith, like, well, I have to brutalize this person. That's my deal with this curse that's living inside me. But they're human. They're not a curse. Can I do this? I expect that.
I'd be down to see like a cult arc of like humans trying to like feed curses, and I'm down for that shit.
And if I'm correct, I think this is a remake of an 2, so
shrug. I don't know about that stuff.
But guys, we've talked about Jujutsu Kaisen a lot. Let's move over to Kuma 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 Bear.
Yeah,
all right.
Yes. Bear.
Bear.
The bear.
The Bobo of bears.
In episode 1, Bear Girl plays in a VR RPG where she has a very strong set of armor that is just a bear onesie. She is a very wealthy person, IRL, and parents who seem to live with her. But fuck any of that interesting shit. We have a generic isekai quest to go on, involving everyone's favorite whiny child, overpowered isekai girl, and 2 adorable bears. A small child's village is being attacked by a black viper, so isekai girl goes there, kills it, and there's a feast. The end.
So, I don't know whether to start off with my first impressions or to argue your take on the synopsis.
I don't know if I can argue his take on the synopsis, because that's like the entire episode. It was very uneventful.
I was so close to falling asleep. My roommate had to wake me up.
Ah,
I was-
okay. Well, okay. Well, then let's start off beat for beat from the beginning. So, can we, like, am I the only one who thought the opening to this episode was, like, surprisingly dark?
Yes, it was. It was not what I was expecting with what I understood like was the concept of this show.
Yeah, like the horse collapsing, the kid running, and like running into the adventurers hall, like all of that was like I'm like okay, okay, and then he kept going about how like do none of you give a shit? Like my family and my village is dying and none of you can help me? Like if you want money here, if you like anything, I'll do anything for you people. Just save my people. And I'm like, "Holy shit." Like it's moe colorful pastel-esque art style and this kid is like really laying it on and I'm like this is dark, this is real and dark, and this is not what I expected for Kuma 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 fucking Bear.
It's dark, but you know where it's gonna go. Knowing the premise that this bear suit is super powerful, you
Sure.
know where it's going to go. I didn't feel any emotional weight in that scene. Like, I mean, like, there's definitely emotional weight. I just didn't feel any of it because you know how it's gonna end up. It's.
I felt
I
like
don't
there was
know.
emotion, just there was no real stakes. But like the performance, like the voice actress's performance for the kid was like emotionally charged.
Oh yeah, no. In both these shows, the voice performances were good. Okay,
And
to jump.
in both the shows, the main character doesn't have much emotion going on with how they speak.
Yep,
Yes,
and
and that brings me immediately to my second, literally my second note. Not the voice I expected for Yuna.
definitely makes her sound a bit more like an older one, which, like, I was expecting something more similar to like the voices in Madoka, but
Yeah, I expected moe, like full on moe. Like I don't think this show's gonna be dark. Like let me clarify that from my first point. Like I do not think this show's gonna be dark. I don't think it's gonna be edgy and gritty. And if it does go that way, like if it gets like really gory at certain scenes, I think it'll make me feel uncomfortable because it's a juxtaposition that's if it goes Madoka. Yeah, it'll be weird. Madoka at least had an art style that kind of insinuated a darker undertone until it came to the foreground. This is just moe, but like I don't want decapitated bears, and I don't think we're gonna get that. But I just want to go on record saying that. But Yuna is much more like adult, lackadaisical, laid back and chill than I expected her to be. From her voice to her personality to everything.
I actually liked Yuna. If I had to give anything in the show I liked, I enjoyed her presence more in the real world, though. We got like 2 or 3 scenes of it. I enjoyed it more there because she seemed to have more. Also, she fucking says Link start when she goes into the Emma.
Yeah, it's a little sword arty, isn't it?
There's no. It's a little. It is. She fucking said Link start.
Okay,
Like,
so talking about this, I think a beat that you guys missed is the world she's in, the Kuma 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 world, is not the game she's playing because they keep jumping between IRL and the Kuma 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 world, and I'm just gonna call it Kuma World because I can't be bothered. Bear World, Bear World, Bear World. Um, they keep jumping in between those scenes, but I don't think they're happening time to time, right? This is an isekai, right? Like, she gets transported to a new world, and that's definitely not the game she's playing because when she logs in, it's a different character, it's a different avatar.
if
It's
that is what they were trying to convey, I missed it. I don't.
yeah. So it's not the same world. She's not playing the game where the game she's playing is not Bear World. Like I think it might be a stab at Sword Art Online. I don't know if it is because it basically is that from the VR headset to the link start to the name. But
Yeah. And if the show is trying to make fun of Sword Art, it's just doing what Sword Art did.
Well, the funny thing is, from what they sort of described in like the concept of the show before watching the episode and then watching it, I think I think actually rather than going towards a sword art feel for what they were trying to convey in terms of the VR MMORPG and all that and her being there, I think they were trying to convey more of an overlord kind of deal.
Yeah, I I think at the end of episode 1, that's where she gets isekai'd, is when she puts the head. I think that's where it happens. 'Cause she's like, okay, I'm just gonna go do this.
I mean, we'll see, right? Like, we assume that Isekai is she dies, but that's not guaranteed. What we do know about Yuna right now is that, at least in the real world, she was a school dropout with a very who was extremely successful in like stock markets or whatever whatever market she excelled in,
I
and
think
she spent
VR
her.
headset.
Hmm.
Is it implied that she created the VR headset?
Oh. Oh.
Notification I got.
She has a stock market. She has a market portfolio set up with all the screens with the graphs, but you know what? You might be right. I didn't think about that.
I mean, it definitely came off as more of a stock thing for me as well, just because as well as the thing she was saying about buy this, buy that, sell that,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
talk about making this percent profit off of what she just did.
Also,
Yeah.
given Japanese culture, if she was like this entrepreneur who made this VR headset and was this like big business owner, her grandpa wouldn't be lecturing her to go back to school. But he is still lecturing her to go back to school, which makes me think that yeah, she just got rich off of like I mean, it could be stock markets, it could be crypto because, it's more modern, so she could be doing cryptocurrencies. But regardless, that's what I got. But who knows? Meep, maybe.
That's just the implication I got.
Yeah, yeah.
I could be wrong.
No, it's an
I
interesting
just
take.
thought the IRL stuff was more interesting to me than actual.
I just hope that it's not like. I just hope she doesn't like starve to death because she's busy playing video games, or like it's some like unhealthy, toxic depiction of a gamer. Because she has all this money,
Now,
like I mean, who knows? Maybe she gets whacked. Maybe a fire. Who knows? Maybe she doesn't die. Maybe she just gets transported and loses all her money, and now she has to start anew.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you say like we expect her to die. Not all isekais are like they die. He's just in the game. Can't. He's just in the game. It's like, wait, we're not able to log out. What happened? Which, yeah, hell, Kimono Michi. He's in the middle of a wrestling match.
Oh, you cut out. He's in the middle of a wrestling match.
Yeah, in Kimono Michi Rise Up, Kimono is in the middle of a wrestling match when he gets transferred, which I think is still one of the best isekais to this day because it's purely a comedy that makes fun of the isekai drama or isekai genre.
Yeah, might have to check it out sometime.
so another thing for me was similar to how there was like one or two moments in Jujutsu Kaisen where the character showed actual pure heavy emotion. I found it funny that one of those moments in Kuma 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 Bear was because of eggs. And they continue to show that she just has this odd obsession with eggs because in her real life, when they were showing little like clips of her in real life, everything she was eating was eggs. Everything.
Yeah, you noticed that.
It's all eggs. She has this weird thing towards eggs, and they elicit the most emotion from her.
I didn't catch that, and I
Yeah.
don't know how to feel about that now.
Hey, girl likes her protein.
Like it was a really interesting, weird thing for me. It's just like, why eggs?
I think literally the most emotion she showed was when she was fed like eggs for breakfast as a reward and was given
Yes.
eggs as part of her reward too. Which she got so excited
Yeah,
that I'm
that's when I
pretty sure
first saw it.
I'm pretty sure she said no to the gold and just took the eggs. At least I like when she was leaving the town. I'm like, wait, did she just say no to money and just take all eggs? Which would be interesting because she also said that eggs are extremely a rare commodity and delicacy and the village elder was like, well, yeah, they're difficult to transport and break. So if she just takes all the eggs and then upsells them, this will continue her personality of like stock market or like market exchange.
If we see that, I will give the show credit. One joke that actually did make me laugh was when they were describing the just like, wait, that's just a chicken. That actually did
Yeah.
me. Just like, yeah, that is fair.
Strange
As
birds that
they were
don't fly.
talking
Sorry,
about it,
go.
she was just imagining it, and it literally was just a chicken.
Strange birds that don't fly, that run around. They make their nests on the ground too, and scream in the morning. And she's like, it's just a chicken.
Oh.
Also, this character, her as a character, she has a lot less outside dialogue and a lot of inner monologue going on.
I'm happy you noticed too. There were parts where I'm like, wait, is she talking in her head or is she actually saying this out loud?
She seems to have a lot more inner monologue than she does dialogue, which is not an actual issue for me. I just noticed it as I went through that she spends a lot of time just talking to herself.
See, it wouldn't be an issue for me if it was easier like what, because obviously there are those subtle tones. It's like, okay, said in that, but because it's a different language, what a lot of anime will do is they'll have different colored subtitles for when they're talking in their head.
Or italicized, yeah.
This didn't have that, and I was so confused at some points where, wait, did she just say it loud or did she?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully when the show's full on release, we'll see more, and maybe they'll add that editing. Maybe it was just a mishap on the first episode, but
Who knows?
also like that could just be an episode one thing where she's expositing in her head instead of out loud, and as the show goes on, you're going to see less of that because there's not going to be much need of that. Unless the rolling gag is that every episode, someone underestimates her because she's in a bear suit, and then she has to reflect on, like, yes, I too would underestimate someone in a bear suit.
That joke was played so many times, and I just kept going, it wasn't even funny the first time. Stop it, show. Stop it.
And what's funny, they made the joke multiple times, but the people at the guild already know that she's done ridiculous things because when she comes back, they're freaking out like, what are we going to do with you? You keep doing this.
Yeah, the guildmaster says, I'm not going to be surprised by anything you do anymore. But they still doubted her in the beginning, right? Like, there was that setup, which we knew was going to be broken down immediately. But, like, the cleric girl, right? She's just like, even for someone like you, this might be too difficult.
You see the guy in the back who knows she can do it, like the orange-haired guy who I literally went, is Jujutsu.
Sorry, you cut out. What was that?
I said there was the one orange-haired guy in the back who looked like the Jujutsu Kaisen character.
Lol.
Who didn't doubt her.
You know who he reminds me of? Matthew from Fire Emblem. He was a rogue character. When I saw him, I'm like, Matt? Is that you?
Another thing I have in my notes here is the show has some cute designs, but the throwaway characters are generic as fuck.
I think that's the point. They're video game NPCs.
I guess, but it's one of those things where it's like, okay, like I'm not like holding this as like a giant sticking point against the show. It's just something I noticed.
Yeah.
They're not even just video game NPCs. They're supposed to be MMO NPCs, which tend to be kind of bland because there's so many of them.
I mean, they are going for like a very generic fantasy setting. I mean, the town is literally white brick and red tile on the roof. Like,
yep. Oh boy,
which I'm not against.
Another overpowered isekai protagonist.
At least she's kind of funny about it. She's not quite flat faced, she's not like, oh no, like she's not like super flat, but it's interesting enough. I do like the bears.
I do too. Bears were adorable.
My issue with it is that I know there's not going to be tension, and where I know this isn't supposed to be a show with tension, the way they played it at the start with the kid going, "What, my whole family is gonna die," for that to work, there needs to be a little bit of tension for me personally.
I don't know where this show is gonna go because from the very beginning, it's already like it surprised me. Like it. So there's two shows on our list that I'm not excited that I was not excited about. This was one of them. I thought this was going to be like super like. I like moe. I don't think moe is bad and it's a bad genre, but I expected this to be moe trash. Like I just expected to.
I don't think moe is bad either.
Yeah.
I just don't think this is a good moe, in my opinion.
It's subverted my expectations. I'll say that much. I was very surprised by the show, but you brought it up and like, yeah, I'm not expecting a lot of depth out of this show because the dad was a dick in the beginning, like a huge dick. Like that's the thing about the show. They reach like emotional highs, like peaks. Like it just peaks every once in a while. It just has an emotional peak. And then the rest of the show is kind of like this like easy chill moe isekai overpowered protag thing. So I'm not expecting a lot of depth from it, but if we continue getting some laughs and there's going to be an ensemble, there's going to be a bunch of bear girls, I'm still willing to see where it goes.
I mean, we have to watch this for not 2 more episodes, but until we get our full list of shows.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I mean, we can continue talking about it, but it sounds like we're about to hold up cards since we're...
Well, I had a couple other... Well, one more thing I wanted to say. Am I the only one that didn't like the little boy?
The who?
Like, especially with him having the 180 turn.
They didn't like the what?
The little boy. Like, the one that had the 180 turn. Like, oh no, you can do it, you can kill the Viper.
You want to go first, Gilly?
You go ahead while I actually remember what my opinion is on this.
All right. So, I agree. He's not the most endearing character, but at the same time, what I'm noticing the show put a little bit of emphasis on is realistic reactions from characters, which is why, like, he's like, you're just a girl in a dumb bear suit, like, what the fuck are you gonna do? Which is a fair reaction for a villager boy to have when his family is dying and he wants the big strong man in armor with a big sword, or you know, the girl with a bow or mage staff, because this is anime and fantasy, and he gets short girl in bear costume, and then when he sees her summon her epic mounts, which were super cute, and I literally have in my notes, yes, the bears have multiplied. Now it is Kuma 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 Bear. You know, he's like, oh shit, she's actually got some power to her, because apparently bear mounts are epic mounts in this world. And he has that 180. He's like, oh shit, you are a high-level adventurer. I am sorry for doubting you. And from the very beginning, he has this very gutso character where he's like, you know, I rode all day and night to reach you. My horse almost died, and I have not slept or eaten, and I do not care. I need to save my village. Like, he's always been like rambunctious and like scrappy. It's just, you know, he came around to her when he realized, oh shit, she is a high-level adventurer.
You want to know what ruined that scene for me, though?
Tell me.
When she went, the soon phase is over. Now we're at the dairy phase. We get it! You don't need...
It's anime, my dude.
But we get it! Jujutsu Kaisen have him monologuing every 3 seconds?
I actually didn't get the joke, because he wasn't really being tsundere to her.
He was, like, being super soon at the start, but, like...
Was he?
With him going, no, you can't do it, you can't, it's so impossible, you're fucking bear girl.
Doesn't tsundere imply that there's a level of, like, hidden affection beneath the hostility?
It doesn't have to be romantic. It can be, like, admiration of, oh, this is someone that I enjoy as a friend. Like, you can be tsundere as a friend.
Yeah. I didn't mean romantic either, just affection in general. But I think that was just her as a human, as, like, a person from our world saying that. Like, she was making the neat joke.
But humans don't talk like that, though.
But anime humans do. Anime neats do. Well, she's not a neat because she has a hundreds of thousands of dollars, but you know, she's an otaku.
Well, I mean, we wouldn't say that exactly, but the thing is, a lot of the time when we play a game and the characters start acting in ways that are very predictable, we will tend to say things similar. That's more culturally more of how culturally we would say it.
Yeah, us as
When
Westerners.
when things act predictably, it's like, oh, yep, now they're gonna start. Now they're gonna hate me, but you know, after I do this quest for them, they're gonna love me.
Yeah,
I
us as
guess.
Westerners.
I wish they would have conveyed the video game aspect. It didn't come off as a video game. It came guy.
It's true. It's true. And we'll see how much they commit to it, right? Because this show can go so many ways from its first episode. But before we diverge into that, yeah, regarding the tsundere joke, yeah, we wouldn't say that specifically, but like us as like Western weebs, like anime watchers, we like even in our D&D game that we played together, Meep, like the joke about my character Dinnerith was always like, ah, yes, the tsundere, and I'm like, you know, we make that joke, we just do it differently.
Yeah, but we make that joke because we're in company. Like, we don't just sit there, like, you know, sitting by ourselves in a dark room going, "Oh, she's being tsundere."
Well, at the same time, this girl's playing an MMO by herself.
You know, and
Well, that's the thing. Her dialogue kind of implies that she knows it's a game. Like her abilities, everything like that is gamey, but she treats the people as they're alive. She doesn't talk about the kids like they're NPCs. She says, "Oh, the kids in this universe are really brave." And she genuinely feels bad that if she got here like a few hours earlier, she might have saved that family that died.
Yeah, which is why I'm like, is it isekai? Is it video game? I don't know.
It's isekai. It's definitely isekai.
Yeah, which makes the point of like, oh, these are video game NPCs null, at least to me, which is like, okay, this is isekai now. These are real people. When it turns into isekai, it's not. They're NPCs. They're real people. So why are they still talking like this? Like, I don't know. I
personally, I don't think we're at the isekai part yet. I don't really think we're there. I think we're yet to reach that point of everything.
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't think that happened in episode 1. I think we're still just, this is a girl playing a video game in her spare time.
I would agree if it wasn't for the fact that they purposely showed her avatar logging into the VR, you know, link start as different from her and Kuma and her Kuma Bear outfit. So I think we are in the isekai. The Kuma Kuma stuff is already isekai, and we're shown pieces of her past life before getting isekai'd.
Honestly, for me, the avatar that showed sort of floating through the space, I didn't take that as even an avatar for the game at all. That felt, at least for me, the way it looked and portrayed felt more like that's a general online avatar that she uses.
Yeah.
That's the avatar for the VR headset in general, but not the game itself.
I thought it was.
Yeah, don't know about that. What? Hey,
it was a very it had a very, because that avatar felt like a very feel of the just general online avatar they do in Ghost in the Shell and Psychopaths, where you have the one avatar for general stuff and then specific ones for games and chat rooms and such.
It's her Minecraft skin. The Viper design was cool. I enjoyed that.
The Viper? Yeah, let's talk about the fight. So many bears.
I didn't enjoy the fight. The animation was good.
The Viper, I don't know why, it almost threw me off because it was done. It looked really good. It was drawn really well. It felt like it didn't. It felt almost like it wasn't the same animation as everything else.
Yeah.
So it's like, this seems like super detailed, and then you have like more of simplistic. It's just like, what's going on?
The
And-
design of the Viper was really good. The animation was
Yeah.
kind of sloppy.
The fight itself I did not enjoy. The animation was good. I thought the moves were kind of boring, and the ending to the fight was kind of anticlimactic to me.
I mean, even
And
her
it's just kind of what
impact,
you expect.
even her impact crater was bear shaped. Like, gods damn it! Like everything is bears. Why? Why is everything bears?
The
And why is it so damn cute?
The attention to detail on never changing from the bear aesthetic, I do appreciate.
Yeah.
I can't appreciate just never changing. Everything has to be bears. I can appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah.
That is
yeah.
fair. I can appreciate that, but
Did you like the Super Ghost Kamikaze Bear attack? Super Bear Kamikaze Ghost. Whatever. I failed the joke.
The Dragon Ball Z joke. I get you.
yeah, I get you too.
I made the Dragon Ball Z reference, guys. Am I anime yet?
I mean, I could have made. Oh, sorry.
Regarding certain with certain things that just keep happening. I'm sorry. I don't know why I found this adorable and hilarious. That a lot of the time when she's just sort of standing talking, a lot of the time she'll just all of a sudden have the two bare hands up like they're also talking. She just keeps defaulting to that, like arms up in like a hand puppet motion just out of nowhere.
I think
Yeah.
I kept noticing her doing that, and I thought it was hilarious and adorable.
It was
think.
cute.
Go on, me.
I was just gonna say it was cute. It didn't get a laugh out of me. The only time I actually got a laugh out of this show was a chuckle, and that was to the chicken.
Chicken.
Because I was just so bored watching this episode. I'm sorry. I was just
No, it's alright. Not everything is gonna be for everyone, my dude. I found it again interesting enough. I didn't find it hilarious personally, but I'm glad to hear, Gilly, you got a good number of laughs out of it. That's it's always good to get an enjoyment out of the situation. But as in Meep's case, not every show is going to be for everyone, and that's the whole point of doing this podcast thing. The whole
I can't wait to be Ben over here just saying, fucking kill it! Why do you get comic girls? Fucking kill it!
Yeah, I mean, I think the show is going to strongly depend on the ensemble characters, the rest of the Bear Girls.
Yes, I would like to. That is a bit of a gripe, is that this was very protagonist, nobody else, just protagonist.
No,
I
we
mean,
had the
I
little
expected
We
the
have
whole.
the one guy, but he's just sort of standing in the background.
have the little kid that I don't like.
He's not
I
not
don't think he's
ensemble.
gonna be a mainstay though. I'm pretty sure
I know.
he might show up once or twice
Yeah,
I
after this.
I hope he doesn't show up again.
I
do
think
not like
I agree with Gilly. I expect him to show up once or twice. Kind of, if there's a time skip, he's gonna come in as a young adventurer. Yeah, I'll. But also, again, the cover art made it feel like. I mean, we know there's gonna be an ensemble, right? Because of all the promotional posters. So I'm excited. I'll admit that I can't say that I'm excited, but I am interested to see the ensemble because, again, I expected the ensemble off of the bat. I expected moe bullshit, and we got a character who, quite frankly, is like half adult, half kid. Like, she has the maturity of understanding how people feel and accepting that the world works a certain way, and she's obviously clever enough because that's what I actually did enjoy about the fight. The fight itself was, It wasn't bad, but it wasn't anything spectacular. But I liked that she was literally logicaling her way through the whole fight, and I appreciated that because the fights are going to be at least clever, if not spectacles. But she's also lazy and lackadaisical and kind of everything's whatever, and I expect her to be the grounding element in the ensemble cast.
Mm,
Because
yeah.
we're gonna get at least one sugar plum fairy bear girl who's just nothing but rainbows, pure moe injected in all of our eyes.
No, I don't need that.
Hey,
I think,
we knew what we were
I think the
coming.
reason
Well,
why I think the reason why I ended up enjoying this show as much as I did is what everything I've said so far is the expectations I went into it with. I was expecting something goofy. I was expecting something not that serious. I was expecting something kind of ridiculous. And I think that's why I enjoyed it because it's exactly what I thought I was going to get.
nice. I expected far more ridiculousness, and I got something way more tame with a little bit more depth than I expected. I don't expect a lot of depth going forward anyway, but like I'm glad to see that they're going to like that there's a potential for like more realistic reactions from characters, and it's not just overpowered. I expected high pitched moe action and explosions and bear clouds, but I got laid back adult Nissan bear girl and cute bear mounts, which were very cute, and bear. I got some bear explosions. I laughed. I literally paused and laughed when her impact crater was bear shaped.
I expected essentially what you two expected. Moe stuff, cute moe. But this show tries to be so many different things at once. It's been like it's at the start tries to be dark, tries to be slice of life with her IRL stuff, then tries to be the moe action. It tries to be so much stuff that it all feels so disjointed. It comedy, but the comedy doesn't land for me. I couldn't. I was just
Meep, it sounds like you want to hold up a card.
that knife. I'm killing the show. I'm sorry. I got little enjoyment out of it, and that did. I just go watch a different comedy anime.
Well, we have a lot of shows coming up too, so we'll see how we feel with the full roster in play and in effect when we're experiencing it all. I'm a fuck it. I'm a fuck the show, just because again I found the first episode interesting enough. It definitely wasn't what I expected, which in a certain way is a good thing because I expected moe trash. I expected high pitched, squeaky voices, super adorable uwu, and which is fine. I'm cool with that. I actually enjoy that. But I also expected super over the top action, like just pure ridiculousness with like Konosuba level of slapstick, and that's just not for me. But so far, the show has kind of walked a middle ground. I do agree that the dark tones in the beginning were weird, like it caught me off guard and still felt out of place. And this show is seemingly trying to do a lot with it, but that's kind of the reason. While I'm apprehensive of it, it also has me interested to see where exactly it will go. Because if it keeps juggling all these balls, none of them will land. But if they kind of have this like setup and decide where they want to go, well, let's just see what episode 2 will bring.
Konosuba is like.
Should we let Gilly do their vote first?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead, Gilly.
Uh, I'm just I'm gonna fuck it because I just think it's I think it has a lot. I think it has a lot more potential than than you might think. I think it has a good chance to be a lot better. And I didn't dislike the first episode.
All right.
Is also a big part of that as well.
Just
Mm-hmm.
wait. We're gonna be 7 weeks in. There's gonna be so many things of just dropped. It's like can't
You cut out
die.
me.
The bear won't die.
Is that gonna be our fuck? What was that thing called?
Mario Zombie.
Yeah. The I
Very
don't
well
remember
might
the original show. The King's Game Award.
Yeah, King's Game Memorial Zombie. Very well might be.
Look, I'll be honest. Unless it all of a sudden turns really bad, I'm gonna be fighting for this show for a
Hey
bit.
man, this is why we're doing it. Everyone enjoys what they enjoy, and they don't enjoy what they don't enjoy. And unless someone's like literally feeling they're wasting their time, their life on something, we need to keep going.
Listen, I am fully expecting Stockholm.
You're fully expecting what?
I'm fully expecting Stockholm Syndrome to hit at some point, where I have to convince myself I like it, or
Hey, listen. If it's going to be any zombie award, I'm okay if it's the Zombie Bear Award. The zombie award.
Listen, I'm really excited for all of these shows because I have good faith in them. I have a lot of faith for Dachi no. I have a lot of faith for it just because I know it's a light novel. A lot of people, it's got a lot of good scuttle.
Well, that's the thing, right? We have a very strong list. Well, I mean, we don't know yet, but it seems like for me, I'm very excited about our list. And the fact that one of the shows I was expecting to kill off the bat is getting a fuck from me, and like, it has me way more interested than I ever thought I would be initially. Who knows, man? I'm excited for this.
Jujutsu Kaisen, I was expecting to be like generic shonen, and where it was that in a lot of aspects, it also subverted a bunch and gave me a lot more faith with one joke than I thought it ever could. Just
I
Go on,
told
Gilly.
Meep that Kuma 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 Bear was going to be better than he thinks. I told you it was gonna survive longer, Meep. Wasn't gonna die right away.
listen, I fully expected you to give it the fuck, Gilly. I was
From the concept I read and from what I looked at, I definitely was hoping it would make it in, and I knew I was probably gonna end up voting for it.
Oh, so I was the rogue vote on Kuma Kuma.
Yeah. He was certain he was not gonna like it. I was certain I was.
Well, there you go. I'm half and half.
And after watching it, yeah, I do like it a lot, and I'm excited to see more and actually have them explain the story of the bear suit, because I know that's supposed to be part of a thing. One of the things they're supposed to explain is where it comes from.
Yeah.
Because the
Right
little
now,
description of it says it just she didn't like find it. It just appeared in her inventory one day.
oh,
Yeah.
is that right? Okay.
Yeah,
And-
in the little description, that's how they talked about it. It just sort of appeared in her inventory one day, and she doesn't know where it came from.
and
Because
Dalaran.
that's the thing I really hold on before we switch topics. That's the thing I really don't want from this show. Like the dark, I don't want like having realistic and having like emotional responses to real life stimuli. I'm all for it. Like the opening scene of Kuma was caught me off guard and makes me feel weird, but I'm not mad about it. What I don't want from the show is for them to try to have like dark undertones. Like I really don't want this episode to be like I don't want us to work chronologically backwards, right? I don't want her to be with her bear friends and all of them fucking died and she got the bear suit because I don't want that. I don't want that.
Just Memento the anime, but bears. Listen, Dalaran, for both of these, you were the rogue vote. Because I knew me and Gilly were I would have been.
You cut out.
I would
You
have
cut
been
out.
really.
I'm the rogue
No,
vote.
actually,
You're
I
both
can
Gilly.
say right now, I didn't. I look at the actual like trailer for Jujutsu Kaisen and the images. I actually thought I was gonna find it dumb.
I watched nothing for both of the shows. The only trailers
Like,
I saw were for the shows that I was trying to pick.
Mhm.
but
Sorry,
like the
Talak.
Jujutsu Kaisen, like the images and everything I saw, I thought it was actually gonna be really dumb. So I actually didn't think I was gonna like it.
I thought you were going to like. The reason I thought you were going to like it is because of the. I thought it was going to be something along the lines of a not Black Clover, but more One Piece. Like not tone wise, but like introduction wise.
Hmm. I will say this for Jujutsu Kaisen. It has done already some of the things that we all wanted Bleach to do, which was give more depth and variety and detail and attention to hollows. But going into Jujutsu Kaisen, I wasn't sure what to expect fully. I was hoping that we would get this like deep Japanese folklore monster horror kind of shonen, and that we're gonna see like the Juji Ito kind of esque stuff be put into a shonen setting. So far, oh yeah, sorry, and what I was afraid of is that we were gonna get this like bullshit waste of like horror potential, with just like monster of the week, but like being really blasé and generic, and the main character just kicks everyone. Like I didn't know what to expect. Also, I was worried that we would go to the other spectrum of horror where it's all rapey and gory and horrible, and it's just terrible for the sake of being terrible. And I'm glad we didn't end up on there. We got gropey demon, feeling up best friend Kun,
Yeah, well,
best friend Chan, but it wasn't that bad. It served its purpose.
It was literally eating his other friend, though, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I thought those two characters were going to die. And
Yeah,
when
I
they
thought
were
they were gonna die too.
So I thought they were going to kill the characters, and that was actually going to set a bad tone for me for this show. I'm just like, this is what I'm feeling it's going to happen. Please don't do this. I've seen this overdone so much.
Which is what's giving me hope for Jujutsu Kaisen, that it's not going to be gory and gritty and dark for the sake of being dark and edgy.
Yeah, I want them to explore themes with it. I am actually really excited for their next episode. I didn't think I would be. I thought it was gonna
You thought
be
what?
like, oh, I said I thought it was gonna be. It's gonna be a show I watch each week. I like it, giving it the fuck, but it actually turned into no. I'm actually excited to see the next episode. It did enough to get me like engrossed and excited.
I'm
Yeah, I am
interested.
too. I'm very pumped to see what's going to happen next.
I'm interested in the show, but I will admit that I think I am less excited about this show than than the two of you are. Not because I have anything against it, but just because I still have hesitations and apprehensions for this show specifically. Like I want the main character to not just be a meathead. I'm holding off being excited until I have a better understanding of the direction of the show itself. Because I don't want to want something and then not get it.
Again, I wouldn't be as warm on this show if they didn't make the joke with the bro, it's my body. Just seeing him holding his face, talking to himself, and then just out of nowhere, bro, it's my body. And I actually started to bust a gut laughing because I wasn't expecting it. It's on point with its comedy. Its action was good. The character I enjoy the most right now is Mr. Chiha, man, Sasuke.
Sasuke Kuchiki?
Yeah, like I said, I'm for a character that feels like he's going to play the rival role. Like I said, they didn't make him so awful like they usually do with a rival.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be rival or if he's going to be senpai.
He might be both. Who knows?
Fair.
Yeah, no. Those were our two shows. Does anyone else have anything to wrap up?
Let's see. I'm gonna check my notes really quick.
I can say I have a lot of hope for both these shows. I'm excited to see what they're both gonna do. I think they can they can both be very fun.
Yeah, and I just want to preface, I'm not upset that you guys are enjoying Kuma Bear. It's not one of those things where it's like, God damn it, I have to watch another episode. It's just it was boring to me. Like that's just I'm killing it, but hey, you guys are getting your enjoyment, so
Yeah, the only the worst thing you could do as a show is bore someone, right? Like that's a philosophy spoken multiple times in Team 4 Stars anime FMK, and I think that's a good philosophy in general when it comes to media. The only thing worse than being bored is literally feeling like you're wasting your fucking time, which I guess to many people, being bored is exactly that. Just the one thing I will say moving forward is that like we can have our expectations, but also like I will try to judge the show by what it is and what it does, not by what it didn't do and what I wished it did.
Yeah.
Like so far, Kuma Bear, surprised me, which is good, and it did some fun stuff. It did some bland stuff. It did some, okay, cool, like down the middle of the road. I'm expecting the show to pick up into full on moe bullshit as the show continues, but I'm not mad about it. And if it takes a steady pace, if it instead of injecting the whole dose, it microdoses us with moe until it gets us to a point where it's like full on, I'm with it. As for Jujutsu Kaisen, really excited to see where they take it. I'm really interested to see where they take it. I'm hoping that protagonist Kun is more than just a meathead. I hope he gets more emotional depth as the show goes on. I'm excited. I am excited to see how the dichotomy works out. Itadori Yuichi. There. It's Yuichi Itadori. And then that's the main character. But yeah, we're just gonna see where the show goes and the relationship and everything. I have an understanding of the basis of the world. Now, where are they gonna take it? That's my take on that.
Yeah. As we talked about with like
Gilly,
Kuma
you died. You roboted and died.
not having that many days.
Yeah, and I'm really hopeful for Jujutsu Kaisen. Kuma 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 Bear just isn't for me. I'm happy you two are enjoying it. It's just I'm gonna be here each week going, I'm not enjoying it unless Stockholm hits me. If Stockholm hits me, then who knows?
Oh god, you are our Ben,
yeah.
aren't you?
Kuma Kuma Bear did not have that many obvious mainstay characters other than the actual main character and that one guy that I feel like is going in the background in the guild, probably going to show up several times.
Yeah.
On the contrast, you have Jujutsu Kaisen. It's like I feel like half of what we've seen are going to keep showing up, even if they're only for comedic purpose. They're going to keep appearing.
I just hope if they give his
Like
friends powers...
I have a feeling we're going to see that teacher a lot, constantly trying to get him to come back and join the sports club.
Oh, that teacher, yeah.
I feel like he's gonna keep showing up.
Listen,
I might be wrong, but that is a prediction of mine. He's gonna keep trying to get him to join and keep trying to like convince him, and possibly even keep like challenging him to contests.
I hope they don't overdo the joke, but I would love it if he keeps challenging him to different contests. That would be awesome.
Yeah, just different goofy types of things, and might start devolving into just the weirdest things.
Do you think Jujutsu is gonna do what some shonen anime do and become Monster of the Week for the first little bit?
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't, but I wouldn't be heartbroken if it did. Just because, hey, you know what? We get to see them in different situations. We get to see more stuff. I enjoyed how it was Bleach, so who knows?
Well, here's the thing. This is what the show didn't do that makes me think it might not do that. Because we had the curse, the demon, right? The one that ended up almost getting the finger, kind of introduced earlier on, and they kind of alluded to where he came from, but they didn't really go into it. So if they're gonna go Monster of the Week, they're gonna give much more attention to the specific demons themselves, like why they are the way they are, and which is completely possible. But they didn't do it in the first episode, maybe because they didn't have room. Maybe because the show's not gonna be about that. Maybe the show's less about why the demons are the demons that they are, and more so like, look at this fucking crazy Japanese horror yokai demon design.
Yeah, it was also said that the curses were born from the negative feelings of humans. So I don't think they're like, Garo level of, oh, this was a person, but they have to die now because they had a dark heart or something. These are just pure beings of negative feeling.
Yeah. Like, Bleach's hollow designs were meant to be simplistic because they're, like, abstract spirits. But here, we'll just see where it goes. As for his friends, like, if they're gonna go do the Uryu Orihime route with this kind of stuff and Chad route, I just... don't make them throwaway. That's my fear, is that we're gonna have throwaway characters, and if they're just gonna be the slice of life characters, keep them the slice of life characters. If you're gonna
Yeah,
make
that's the thing.
them exorcists, then make them matter.
I don't think they're going to be would like can contain the Bleach comparison. I don't think they're going to be that group of Ichigo's friends. I think I can't remember their names right now, but I think it's going to be the two guys that are Ichigo's friends that just sort of are there, do stupid stuff.
The boys and the girls.
Yeah.
So
Jesus.
if they do become part of the current Slaying Ensemble, I pray they're like the My Hero, where they matter.
Yeah. I just looked at the cast and I technically just spoiled something for myself, so I'm not gonna say it. I think I know. I think I have a better understanding of where they're gonna take the side characters now, but I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah, no.
I was trying to look up names and be professional, but I ended up ruining it for myself. Fuck.
Professionalism, what's that? I'm literally in a bedroom right now.
Also, the Sasuke Kuchiki's character is Fushiguro Megumi.
It's going to be hard to remember.
But we get to make the Megumin jokes because his name is Megumi, not Megumin, but close enough.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but that is going to take a bit for me to remember.
Though, I feel like we've said... we've said what we want to, right?
Yeah, I think this is a good first, not even a first episode, kind of like an alpha episode, a beta episode.
Yeah, I want to thank my two co-hosts that are here with me. I really enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Do we have things we want to plug, our channels and whatnot?
I don't necessarily have anything I want to plug, but...
Well, I'm going to be the one streaming these, so you know me, Dollar on Quest here on Twitch, so you guys can catch us here. Otherwise, if no one else has anything to plug, we can end here.
Yeah, good. Thank you everyone for tuning in, who tunes in. Y'all are much appreciated.
For sure, for sure. We are really excited to be doing this, and if this turns out to be a fun experience, not just for us, but for other people to listen and get involved and join discussions, then honestly, we could not ask for more.
And also, again, big shout out to Team 4-Star for inspiring this. This is heavily inspired by their anime FMK, and I just want to give a big shout out to them, because this was not an original idea. This was something that I'm doing for a film class, and something that's just a love letter to their anime FMK, because they had to end it a while back. I absolutely loved it.
It's true. It was a format that we all enjoyed, and we are really glad that we're able to pay respects and homage by kind of doing it ourselves now. Alrighty. Yeah, that seems it. Good sesh, y'all. And again, thank you everyone who stuck around. And for more of this and more anime discussions, as well as video games and D&D discussions, find us at twitch.tv/DalaronQuest. DALARON Quest.
Do we want to give our full watch list to the viewers?
The full what?
The full watch list to the viewers, in case they're going to watch along.
Ooh, yeah. For those of you sticking around to the end of the podcast and wherever this ends up becoming, here is the full anime list.
Adachi Toshimura, Yukoku no Moriarty, Machuno Tabi Tabi, Magatsu Warhite Zerst, King's Raid Ishi wo Sugumono Tachi, Ochi Koburo Fruit Tart, Ikebukuro Westgate Park, Jujutsu Kaisen, Akudama Drive, and Kuma 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 Bear.
I love that that's the last one on the fucking list. That each time we have to end with, and Kuma 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 Bear. Alright.
With next time we record, we decide to make the right decision.
Fuck off.
I'm joking.
I know you are.
Listen, I will preface: if I'm not enjoying a show, don't let that influence your vote, because that won't influence my vote if you guys aren't enjoying a show.
Yeah, no, unless it's bringing misery to you and the FMK anime whole thing, then yeah, don't, yeah, of course, of course. But yeah, well, let's end it here. Again, thank you guys so much for those of you who's chosen to come by and listen and stuck around, especially to this point all the way at the end. As you can hear, the anime list is, I'm very excited for it. I think I speak for everyone when I say that. And yeah, next episode, I think we're gonna have more shows to
Excited for
talk about.
real fun for the. I'm excited for the Moriarty.
Ah, yes, the anime Moriarty. There's so much Sherlock stuff coming out. But yeah,
The one that I picked.
spoilers. You now know Gilly's lock.
Well, okay, let me say my lock. My lock was Adachi no Shimura, aka Slice of Life Lesbians.
True. And well, I mean, fine. And for those of you who stuck around to the very ending of this, my lock was Maho no Tabi Tabi, and I'm really excited. I'm not gonna say anything about it, but Majo no Tabi Tabi, and I'm excited. Anyway, guys, I'm going to end the recording here. Once again, thank you everyone for sticking around with us and checking us out. Meep, thank you so much for bringing all of this together. Gilly, thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you all next time. And that is the episode 0 of our FMK. In case it was not said enough in our outro, thank you everyone for coming by and checking this out today. It was just an idea we decided to have, all thanks to Meep, Soul King, and honestly, it just turned into like such a good time, and we're just excited to continue doing this and to see all of you come out and watch and like hang with us, and hopefully as the anime continues and we get a little bit better at conveying the synopsises of both the episode and the shows themselves, we'll engage more about the anime conversations. Till then, feel free to hang out and chat for a bit, let a couple of songs play, and once again, much love and a huge thank you, all of you. Also, Artalucas, thank you so much for the sub, my man. I saw it earlier, I didn't want to interrupt the podcast, but it's incredibly appreciated, and thanks for sticking around and helping us do what we want to do, my man. Alright guys. Enjoy the music, so I'll see you in chat. Also, it's not on the list, but BNA is turning out to be a good show, and the fucking music's a banger! Right. Huge shout out again to Team 4-Star. It was their idea to create this format. It was super entertaining, and we're glad that it exists and that we're able to even attempt a fraction of what they did. Yes. My audio cut out, but yeah, BNA is a good show, and why you do this, Discord? Well, actually, I don't know what it is. If it's Discord, if it's my keyboard. You know what, guys? Let's raid Lanipator. He's one of the people between 4-star, and it's thanks to him that, you know, this whole show's coming together like this. Alrighty, guys. Once again, thank you so much for coming by and hanging out. This is a great turnout. It was a last-minute announcement, and I want to thank all y'all for coming out. I'm looking forward to next time. In the meantime, I'm going to be playing some Kingdoms of Amalur, Fallout 4, or Baldur's Gate with mods on the week. So keep an eye out on that. And I'll catch you in the next session. Till then, may luck be with you, and take care.